Hello and welcome to round number 28 of Fragmaster's Fox Friday in 2023. I'm Peter Butcher and tonight we're at South City, City Long Reversed, SO4 in Live for Speed for another epic Fox Friday. I'm Peter Butcher and joining me in the commentary box tonight it's Michael Málek. Michael, how are you doing?
Hello everyone, glad to be here. I'm looking forward to another exciting Fox Friday race.
Yeah, you're actually commentating from Greece right now, a hotel in Greece.
Yeah, that's right. I am suffering from intense heat, but I think we will see some very cool moments tonight, so let's go.
Yeah, dedication from Michael Málek. Nice one for joining us. You didn't have to, but there you go. Yeah, he just wanted to join Fox Friday from his holiday in Greece. So there we go. Let's get on with tonight's show. We don't have very long to go before we get on to the action, so we better get on with this pretty quick. Tonight's combo is South City Long Reversed, 4 kilometers, 2.5 miles. We're going to have a 1-hour race. We've just had one shot qualifying, the results of which are going to be coming up on your screens in just a moment's time. An epic track for the Fox, Michael. I think you'll agree.
Oh, absolutely agree. It's track with no runoffs, so every mistake is heavily punished, and we will see a lot of action tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah, the 2-litre inline 4 mid-engine rear-wheel drive car never ever disappoints, especially around the streets of South City. It's got just under 200 brake horsepower and weighs just under a ton. So it is a lot of fun, a lot of downforce. So definitely enjoyable around the streets of South City. For those who know about track limits and can feed this thing around the lap without scuffing those big wheels and big tyres on the Armco barriers. I love this car at this track. It is wonderful. So let's see how the drivers fare today. We have 27 qualifiers, I believe, for round number 28. We are going to be broadcasting 9 rounds throughout this year. 8 rounds throughout this year. And today is the 3rd round we are going to be doing. And we'll be doing another one each month towards the end of the year. So please join us for those. Of course, Fox Friday runs every single week on a Friday evening. So if you want to join, get a hold of LFS and try and join the grid. It's one-shot qualifying, so you get one attempt to set your best lap, and if you're in the top 40 you get to start the race, and that's cool. Let's have a look at qualifying results. On pole position it is going to be Sidus Gabor with a 1:32.34 ahead of Botsy, who had 2 runs. His first run was impeded, and on his second run he managed to get within 0.05 of a second of his teammate. Then it's Sidus Monkey, TJ, Fatal, Christian, Roger Chen, Rags, Onifus and Iron Donny. Tannenberg lines up in P11, Al Payson is in P12, RD2, Unite, Mad Jester, Twincam, Sendix, Strutter, Adal, Fin UK round out the top 20.
And going on with the 21st, it's Liaison, Turbo Blaster, 23rd, Rex, Kurko 87, Junior, Pablo, and in P27, the last qualified placed João Fernando.
Thanks for that, Michael. And so 27 qualifiers will start the race, we believe, unless there are any latecomers. We've just about got time to go through the championship standings before the start of the race. Let's bring everybody up to speed with what's going on there. At the top of the table, we have Fragmasters with a whopping 1,487 points, followed by Road Appraiser in second with 918. Then it's MRC Sidus, Fragmasters 2 leading Iron, and Fragmasters 3 with good drivers, World Class Lines, and Fragmasters 4 in P10. Where on earth are FM? FM are first, so there we go. FM are leading the way, and it looks like they've got their teams in the correct order, which it can be embarrassing sometimes if you've got a lot of different teams, but there you go. They are in order. We've got a bunch of different pages of results here. I think 38 teams have scored at least 1 point in the championship so far. There we go. There they all are. Michael, a lot of teams and a lot of drivers compete in this series week in, week out. It's great to see.
Yeah, there are apparently some interesting rules in making the teams. So some teams are split up to 4 or I see even 5 FM sub-teams. So that's very interesting. But the Fragmaster team is just the best in the Fox racing, so I'm not surprised they are in the top spot.
Indeed, that's the teams championship. Now let's take a look at the drivers championship. It is at the head of the field. Who is it? It's Fragmaster's Fatal with 957 points ahead of TJ for Road Appraiser. That gap's gone up, actually, I think, since the last time we looked at this. So, Fatal is, well, he's got a good grip of the series so far. He's pulled out over 147 points over TJ. With Roger Chen in third some way back as well. Gabor there in P4, hoping to improve his championship tally tonight by getting pole position. Zesty, then Onifus, Donny, Rex, Al Payson, and Happy D, the top 10. And we'll let these scroll. We've got a lot of results. We mentioned that there were a lot of teams that have entered the championship so far this year, but obviously there are going to be more drivers because teams consist of more than one driver, obviously. So there we go. We have a lot of results coming your way. Johnny SVK there, 92 points. So who else we got else in this championship worth mentioning? Who else is here tonight, in fact, lower down the order, who could be looking to improve? We've got a lot of Fragmasters drivers here tonight. We've had some rounds where there have been fewer of them, and tonight is one of the rounds where there are going to be a lot of them. We've got just one more page of results to go. There we go, T-Bug. At the bottom, 84, but 84 drivers scoring at least a point. We're just over, I think, halfway through the season, so that's a good tally of drivers. Michael,
you're absolutely right. That's a lot of fast guys, and we might see some new faces tonight. So let's see how the qualifying results are.
Yeah, there's a couple of drivers I don't recognise, so it'd be good to see how they do in the championship. But yeah, Fatal has a good firm grip on the championship so far. TJ, who is a multiple-time champion of Fragmasters Fox Friday, looking to score another championship win, I'm sure. So he needs to dig deep. He's currently in. Where did he qualify? Let's have another refresh of the list of qualifiers. He's down in P4, so he'll be starting on row 2 alongside Yoni Katilla. Gabor obviously is going to be alongside his teammate. I mentioned that Botsy had 2 runs. His first run was impeded. He got to do a second run at the end of the session and came within 0.05 of a second of his teammate. Michael, let's go to the grid and start round 28 of Fragmasters Fox Friday in LFS.
Let's go.
Let's go indeed. The cars are on the grid. We've got a fabulous looking grid here tonight. So let's get those lights up and see what's going on for the start. Michael, take it away.
We have all red lights on and we go green in South City. It's a good start from Gabor for Butzi and Sidus Monkey. Gabor keeps the lead very well. It's pretty much one way, but the Butzi goes around the outside, but Gabor will be absolutely delighted to lead onto the back straight. We see no collisions so far in the roundabout. We see Gabor weaving, trying to break the slipstream of the guy behind who seems to be Butzi, but they are about to go side by side into the next section. Gabor on the inside, and they are still side by side, and now it's Butzi in the inside, and he's still inside. There's some light contact. They are still side by side, but Gabor should be ahead by this point. He seems to be so. Still no serious contact right out of the box. So it's Gabor leading over Botsi, who's desperately trying to get ahead, but this is the place of the track where overtaking is not really possible. He needs to wait until the end of this lap, where the main straight begins.
Yeah, good clean start to the race, and yeah, it's Gabor who somehow managed to maintain his lead over Botsi. Gabor using the wrong skin, I've just noticed. He's running a Honda Lucky Strike livery, which is a little bit of a difference from his Sidus livery, and he's going to be looking at that in his rearview mirrors right now as Botsi gets a good exit out of the final corner. Will it be enough to get a slipstream up the home straight? Let's have a look. Maybe a distant toe, but not enough for sure to get alongside, or is it? Let's see what he can manage. No, he's not going to be close enough. We've got some battles further back. Donny and Rakes very close. You don't want to be side by side here, but they somehow managed to get through without making contact. Gabor leads into the first corner on lap 2.
Yeah, as we speak, Gabor is still leading over Botsi. I was very surprised by the Gabor's skin, but now we know what skin he's using, and he's doing really well with that. As we see Smoke and TJ going side by side into this very tricky section, and TJ slots back behind Monkey. They are going into the deep U-turn, and then back onto the town course section, with TJ trying really hard to make the opportunity to make the pass. He's trying really hard. Yeah, there was contact, but
too hard.
No space to make the pass here. It's just this will be the waiting game for TJ, and waiting for another opportunity at the beginning of the longest straight.
Indeed. Well, they're absolutely going for it at the beginning of the race, Michael. They're absolutely pushing, and the top two are being able to get away. They've pulled out almost a 2-second gap over Sidus Monkey, who is, if you've been paying attention, that is Yoni Katilla. Yeah, as we head on to the beginning of lap number 3, we have a bit of a gap forming. However, Yoni has broken the toe now on TJ. We've also got Unite and Twin Cam very, very close in the background. There could be a move on here. Unite's been pushed back on the first lap, which is why he's all the way down here, and he's going side by side with Al Payson there, up to the first corner. He's on the outside. Sorry, Twin Cam and Al Payson side by side there, with Unite in the back. Oh, sorry. Unite and Twin Cam are side by side. Al Payson is in front. My mistake. Oh, actually, there's an issue in front of Al there. That was Majesta into the wall. That then releases Unite to try and get past Al Payson. Unite using a slightly different Sidus livery there, confusing me somewhat.
Yeah, they all seem to have prepared some tricky skins to confuse us tonight, but we won't give up. Now we are watching Al Payson leading Rex and Twincam into the twisty town course section. I don't expect any real overtakes happening here unless some very opportunistic moves happened. But so far they are going one by one, and it's just a waiting game for another long straight, as we see Gabor still leading, making actually a 1 second gap over Botsi, and then 2.5 second gap to Katilla, Leon Katilla, and then it's TJ in 4th and Femfato in 5th place.
Yeah, and the closest at the front looks to be between Fatal and TJ, but we do have a fight on that again with Al Payson. Al Payson does tend to grab screen time during Fox Friday. He's going backwards a little bit, but it is Rex who has just managed to effect a pass on him, but Al's not going to let him go. Moves to the inside for the first kink, but slots in behind, thinks better of it, can't get alongside. He'll try again though, for sure. He will try and see if he can get a slipstream up the back straight. Twin Cam behind him also might fancy his chances here as well, but he's not quite within slipstream range at this point, Michael. And yeah, neither is Al. I think he has well and truly dropped off the back of Rex there. As we've got side-by-side action up ahead. That's Unite going toe-to-toe with Strutter, Fragmaster Strutter there, who is currently in P14, trying to effect passes where he can to get further forwards. And yeah, Rex actually has made a pretty good run. He's managed to dispatch of Al Payson and is already trying to hook onto the back of another Fragmaster's car. Pablo and Kirku very, very far back on the race, P23 and 24, also having a scrap here as we head into the bus stop section, we like to call it, the downhill right here, followed by a very tricky chicane, but well, someone's got it wrong there, and yeah, Pablo able to get away. And now, Yasin spinning the car on the exit of the bus stop, spinning round, losing 3 places in the process. And yeah, the front of that car not behaving the way you wanted it to. I think he might be struggling with some tyre heat. By the looks of it, that car is squirreling all over the place. Meanwhile, Gabor steals a fastest lap, has a 1 second gap over Botsi, and well, Yoni Catilla actually has brought the gap down to our race leader, so he's on pace. Meanwhile, Fatal and TJ going at it.
Yeah, Fatal is now leading TJ onto the back straight. TJ is in the slipstream and going for the inside into the next turn. I think TJ will be ahead by the time they get there. As we speak, yeah, TJ is already at front and Fatal has to slot behind. Now they're going into the slow U-turn, and they keep behind each other. There are still no retirements, I think. TJ is in P4 at the moment.
Yeah, he's had a good start, but he did start P4, so he's you know, just trying to hang on to P4 at the moment. He's pretty close with Fatal. Fatal is not letting him go, and it's Yoni Catilla who is the man on the move at the moment. Actually, no, I think he's made an error or something on that lap. Oh no, he is bringing the gap down to Botsi just about, but Gabor is stretching that lead by tenths of a second each lap. Doing a pretty great job at the moment. We've got 50 laps of racing tonight to fill our 1 hour of Fox Friday racing, round 28 of the 2023 season. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We do appreciate your viewership, and yeah, we need to get people involved in Fox Friday. We need to get back up to 40 car grids if we can. So please, if you enjoy this, then consider driving. I know a couple of people in the chat would normally be driving, but have chosen to stay out of the heat, maybe stay out of the sweatiness of the cockpit, and do some viewing instead, which is always welcome. But we need you back in the car. So yeah, please join us on track for Fox Friday action every week in Live for Speed. TJ. Michael, he's opening the gap slightly, but there we go on the brakes and into this tricky infield section. It looks like Fatal has maybe higher downforce. What do we think?
I don't have enough data to make that call, but I'm more concerned about the tire choices. I'm not sure which tires each individual driver is using, but TJ seems to be struggling more with the grip, so I think that's possibly where Fatal can capitalize. So far, Fatal is doing really well, despite being in the dirty air of TJ for quite some time at this point. But I think he will get ahead quite soon, because TJ seems to be struggling and doing a lot of unforced errors. So, yeah.
Well, they're pushing one another. They are absolutely pushing one another. Let's take a look then at the tyre strategy. R1s on the fronts of most of these cars, R2s for TJ, so that could possibly explain the early race pace of Fatal and potentially why TJ is struggling. Let's think about that. Everybody pretty much running R2s on the back, so this is the interesting graphic here. The front tyre choices, the top 3 running R1s, then TJ with R2s and Fatal with R1s. We have our first pit stop, and it is going to be RD2 who is going to make his run down pit lane. He is on his way again. Here he is. All of the drivers will need to make a stop during the race for fuel, because the race is fuel limited. 1 pit stop required by everybody. And Twin Cam is having a go at Stratamite.
Yeah, they're going side by side, but we can stays ahead, or I'm not sure if he was ahead before we got here, but he definitely is ahead now. Yeah, now he's in P15. He's about to chase Alpazan in P14. If I can speak about the tires, I'm thinking that guys who have R2s on both axles can actually save sometimes in the pit lane, because I don't expect R1 tires to pass the whole race. So I think TJ might save some seconds in the pit lane. What do you think?
Yeah, potentially. It's a strategy that the top drivers, 4 of the top 5 are not running. So we'll have to see. TJ is. You can't find anyone really at the moment more experienced in the Fox than TJ, who is actively competing in Fox Friday, at least not at the front of the field. So we'll see what he is doing later on as we carry on watching Twin Cam under the underpass, coming up to the start-finish line to start lap 8 of 50 here, and he's chasing down Fragmaster's Al Payson, who is he gets most of the airtime actually in the mid-pack in Fox Friday. So let's see what we can do in those bright green wheels that Twin Cam always uses. We will see. I don't think he's close enough on the exit of the hairpin there to get past just yet. So let's see if we can find some other action. But let's resume the Fatal and TJ battle as they head into the hairpin. Still pretty close together. Yeah, Fatal is mighty on the brakes, but TJ somehow able to get the power down out of the corner, just enough to stop Fatal from being able to get through. As we head into the bus stop chicane section once again, both of the drivers on the previous lap actually were pretty squirmy through here. Again, wide of the apex as well, has to be said. Yeah, Fatal a lot closer. So I do think, to guess, but I do think Fatal is running a higher downforce setup. He's not able to get past on the straights, obviously, but closes up massively on the infield. Let's see if he can manage it this time. He needs to nail the exit, gets a tighter entry, slightly wider exit than TJ, but that looked pretty good. Is he close enough? He is close enough, potentially.
I believe he is. But
well, what about the downforce?
It's hard to tell, but I believe they maybe are running the similar downforce, but because TJ is running the harder compound, he has a smaller rolling resistance, so maybe that's what's keeping him ahead on the long straight.
Yeah, it's easy to pick aerodynamics as a reason, but yeah, tyre compound could also come into play. Yeah, so there you go. TJ, so far so good. Another potential fight that's brewing is between these 3 drivers. It's Master Race Cars Tallenberg. I got that all mixed up. Being chased by Unite and Good Drivers Rex down into the chicane section. And Unite trying to go around the outside. That'd be amazing if he gets that to work, as Rex almost tempted to make it 3 wide. We go through the hairpin. Unite keeps his nose in there, and fair play to Tallenberg, leaves him just enough room without causing any contact there. And Unite muscling his way through on the inside for the next couple of turns, and he's through. That's a good move around the outside of the hairpin, but Tallenberg had to be respectful to leave the space, and Rex looks to be trying to follow through. He's not quite close enough, and they have actually, amongst all that, enabled Furtive Racing's Rags to catch up. So this is now a 4-way fight.
Yeah, that was wonderful move by Unite. I was biting my nails because I was watching my teammate in very close battle, but yeah, fair play to Unite for getting ahead cleanly. I'm sure he's where he doesn't want to be at the moment, so he will definitely finish somewhere higher, as we see Fatal finally getting ahead of TJ, but TJ doesn't go light on the brakes, and the switch is already done as
that
continue on lap 10.
That was a great move into the final corner. Brilliant stuff. And now that Fatal is clear, how quickly can he get away, Michael?
I have no idea, but we are getting into the twisty section, so if we assume he has higher downforce and more grippier tires, I think he will get away pretty quickly, and by the time they get to the long straight, TJ will be too far back. That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, if they're similar on pace, then TJ is going to be able to stay with Fatal. But, the driver, you have to be significantly faster than another driver to get past if you're running a similar setup. So the odds are on that Fatal is on a move hit, and TJ may not be able to get back past, but only time will tell. We're on lap 10 with 20% way through the race, and it's all going on. I don't know what's going on with Yoni Katilla. These two have been at each other's necks for the whole first 10 laps of this race, and Yoni is still only just there. You can just see him disappearing ahead. That was not a good final corner for TJ. He got that all wrong, and that's allowed Fatal to get away. So no chance at all of a retaliation. on this lap. But what's happened to Joni Katila?
I don't have that intel. Maybe he's having problem with overheating tires, but we are watching Iron Donny trying the move to pass Christian. So far, he stays back. Christian is still in front, giving now the slipstream to Iron Donny. He's very close, so he will definitely get side by side. I think he will try to go to the inside unless the door is shut down. There he goes. And let's see who gets out ahead, and it's Iron Donny who slots ahead. And now it's now in P8 into the town course section.
Good move, and moves going on again. It's Al Payson defending hard from Twin Cam. That is a block, and that has succeeded. They were side by side going into the downhill, but Al Payson has managed, albeit with giving up time, to keep Twin Cam behind him. Let's see if Twin Cam can get past some other way. Currently, this is the battle for P14. A little bit wide there for Al. And again, wide at the entry to the bus stop chicane. He's all over the place. Twin Cam must be able to get past somewhere, and I'm sure he wants to, because he must be being held up at this point. Let's see where that's going to happen. Al is looking in his rearview mirrors. He's not looking at the road ahead. That's my guess.
I think the overtake will happen at this straight unless something strange happens.
Oh, he's had a good exit. Al's had a good exit.
Let's see. He seems to be... Yeah, there seems to be a large enough gap to avoid the overtakes. So, yeah, nothing happening this lap, I guess.
Yeah, he saved himself at least for another couple of corners by doing a nice exit there. Twin Cam has no reply. Here's our leader. We have to give him some airtime before we look away again, because Finn UK is now on a move. He's chasing down Adal. Adal with a very striking livery, I have to say. I like the look of that, as they head into the first corner.
And they're going side by side, hard on the brakes, and Finn UK gets ahead, but I'm sure Adal will try to make a switch back on the back straight, as he is now in the slipstream. And again, I think he will attempt to go on the inside unless the door is shut. But actually, he was waiting a bit, now tries to go around the outside. But I think Finn UK will stay ahead, and yeah, they seem to be, they slot as I say. And now we are getting back into the section where overtaking is nearly impossible, so Adal will definitely have to wait a bit, maybe cool down a bit and think about that maneuver. And as we speak, Gabor is still leading, now has a 2.5 seconds gap over Joni. And Fatal in P4 is chasing Joni Katila, who seems to be struggling on the pace now. He's just far ahead of Fatal, not to give him strong slipstream. Stays in P3 at the moment, but Fatal seems to have the upper hand tonight, so it's possible that Fatal might make the move in some following laps. TJ in P5 is still in the striking distance, so I expect Joni to fall back eventually. But maybe he's just managing his tires and doing something so he's faster at the later point.
Yeah, Joni is definitely on the back foot here. The interesting thing is, the gap between Joni and Botsi has only gone up by 0.3 of a second in about 10 laps. So Fatal's pace at the moment, and TJ's pace to be fair, is on the up and up. So if Fatal can somehow get past Joni and maintain this pace on his R1 front tyres and R2 rears, will potentially be able to close up. Fatal is dragging TJ along with him. There's no two ways about it. Joni is dropping back. Let's see what Joni's delta to Botsi is when they cross the start-finish line. Let's see now. We're going to get the update, and we'll be able to see what the situation is. It's holding station. It's only gone down. It's gone down actually, the gap to Botsi by 200. So Fatal and TJ on a move here. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
You're absolutely right, and Jonas seemed to be a ton faster than these two behind. He made quite a lot of space in between them on the long straight, so I suspect Jonas is actually running clover downforce here. But this is the place where you need the downforce, so I think this will catch up back to him in very few corners.
Yeah, it's an interesting view looking back just to see which parts of the track Fatal is gaining on. But I do notice from that view that TJ is still there. He's been passed by Fatal. Maybe he likes the fact that he's now got to follow. I always found it way more fun to chase than I did to be chased. It's always more ominous than doing what these guys are doing, chasing down, hunting down Yoni Katila. But what TJ needs now really is for him to focus 100%. And get past. TJ doesn't want to start being held up because this three-way fight could cost each of them a podium potentially. So let's see what happens. Fatal needs to push. The R1s on all the drivers at the front are hot, and it's TJ who is going to be the only difference to that because he's running R2s on the front of his Fox. But yeah, let's see what happens. Another lap down. Fatal is no closer than he was. And the gap from Yoni to the leaders is going up again. So Gabor has got this nailed so far. 3-second gap to his teammate Botsi, and a further 2.5 seconds back to Yoni Katila. A new fastest lap for Gabor on the last time around. So he really is motoring, Michael.
Yeah. I think tonight is the Gabor's day. So far he has no competition. He has 3 seconds gap over Botsi, who has another almost 3 seconds gap over Katila. So I think it will be definitely a Cyrus winner tonight, and it will be Gabor. As we watch TJ still keeping up with Fatal. Actually, in Formula cars, you don't want to be following up closely because the area is hurting you, but TJ seems to be doing quite fine. So props to him.
Yeah, this is the midpoint of the race where everyone kind of settles down into a rhythm, and then we kind of see the chess moves being made slowly. The strategy starts to unfold before the big finale at the end. At the moment, Gabor is just going for the usual Gabor strategy of just go flat out, doesn't matter, push as much as possible, make the gap as big as possible, pit and hope for the best. That's the strategy he's elected to do, his usual. Botsi probably on a similar thought, but just not there in the ultimate pace at the moment. He might have more fuel on board, we never know. Because the drivers have to refuel, the race is more than 100% fuel required to finish the race, so drivers can split up their strategies in many different ways. Gabor might be using slightly less fuel. We will see. There's a big battle in the middle of it. There's a big battle. We've got almost 3 wide going into turn 1. We've got Al Payson yet again in the midst of all the drama, Michael.
Yeah, Al Payson, my friend Tom Hamberg, and who's the other guy, it's Twincam. They are going almost 3 wide. Now it's Al Hamberg and Al Payson going side by side. Al Payson on the inside, Al Hamberg on the outside. Twincam just trying to find the space, but there's none, as the 2 guys ahead are still going side by side, and now Hamberg's backs off. So it's Al Payson leading this trio into the and Hamberg has made a small mistake, pretty much allowing the Twincam to make a pass. He goes backwards, which is difficult to see to me. Twincam seems to make some small mistake, but stays ahead of the Hamburg as Al Payson has already made a small gap to them, so he should be safe on the back straight. But let's see if the Hamburg is able to make the space back in the slipstream on the strongest straight of the circuit.
Yeah, Twincam with a bit of a scrappy lap, somehow managing to make an overtake in the middle of it. But yeah, going into the bus stop, he was almost completely sideways. Checked up at the front, rear end out, going into there, somehow managing to keep it all together and resumes the fight with Al Payson. But yeah, Tallenberg getting involved and then immediately dropping back. A bit of a shame for him, but long race, plenty of time left to consolidate a position. And Twin Cam immediately back into the slipstream. Actually, that's going to be a move potentially by the end of the straight. Is he close enough? He's just about maybe close enough. He goes to the outside. He thinks he's got a chance, and he's already alongside. Can he hold it around the outside? Always difficult. This will be the inside of the hairpin. Good move. Already done before he has to worry about the braking zone for this corner. And, well, that was over in a flash. Good move there by Twin Cam. Finally gets past Al Payson. And now Al's troubles are not over because Tallenberg's right there.
Yeah, that was fantastic move by Twin Cam. And now let's see if Tallenberg can capitalize as well. So far, he seems to be struggling in the dirty air. Now we are in the twisty section, so no overtaking from him in next 20-30 seconds. But let's see how he setups his car onto the back straight. So far, he's actually losing sometimes. So at the moment he's too far back to make it at the front straight. Instead, we are seeing Alpayson catching up slowly to Twin Cam, but I think he's too far back as well. Let's see. Tallenberg is definitely too far back to make anything, but the duo ahead of him could make some action out there. They seem to be too far from each other, so no overthinking here, as we are on lap 18 out of 50, and Saidus Gabor is still leading the race with commanding lead of almost 4 seconds, and another 3 or 4 seconds to third place, Joni Katila, who's actually now chased closely by Fatal and TJ. Still no switch in places, but he's definitely struggling on the pace. And any small mistake, I think the two guys behind will capitalize on that.
Yeah, they will indeed. That is a seriously close fight. Gabor still commanding pace, now more than 4 seconds, as you mentioned. And it's all up to Fatal now. He can take the podium spot, provisional podium spot, away from Joni Katila if only he can get a good exit from this corner. This is where it's going to happen, if it's going to happen at all. Let's see, did he get a good enough exit? Not quite. I don't think there's going to be a move on at the end of the straight. Let's see how close it is over start finish. No, not on this lap, probably, unless the first hairpin goes well for him. But yeah, they are dropping TJ. Let's take a look elsewhere, as we've got Donny having a move on Onifus over start finish. There they go. And it is, well, inches between Onifus and Donny there. Onifus had a nose ahead over the start finish, but Donny with the momentum, not quite done yet. Onifus will fancy his chances up the back straight. Can he get back in the slipstream? If I were him, I'd lift off maybe slightly, because I don't have the momentum here to keep the place. He's left it a bit late. Oh, he's still got a nose in. Donny didn't know about it, and Onifus manages to keep the place just. Donny will have the inside line. It's a long battle, this, but Onifus is going to have to yield at some point. There we go. Donny lights up the rear end. Is that going to be a problem? Onifus is still there, and he fancies his chances. He goes to the inside. He forces the move. Donny will be on the outside now, on the downhill. Can he hold it around the outside? No, he can't. Onifus has got the move made, and as we head down, Donny has to do it all over again, Michael, but brilliant stuff.
Yeah, this is a fantastic battle. This is what LFS is all about. Fantastic racing between these two, but they are slowing each other down, as the guy behind, who's Christian, I think. It is catching to them as we watch Fatal now gaining on Joni. They are now side by side, and Fatal seems to be getting there. Almost was a contact, but now he's ahead, and let's see how they go on the brakes. He stays ahead, but I'm sure Joni will be close enough. It was very close around the wall, but Joni is now close enough to make the switch back. Let's see which sides he picks. He seems to be going around the outside. Let's see how it goes. And he has the nose quite far ahead, but wasn't brave enough to stay around the outside and slots behind Fatal. So now it's Fatal in P3, followed by Joni, and then TJ is still waiting for his opportunity.
Yeah, Joni Katila, that was a little bit easy for Fatal there. So Joni is struggling at the moment on those tyres. TJ also looks to be having not the best time of his life at the moment, but he is already up to the back of Yoni. Yoni will have been compromised slightly through the last few corners there by the dirty air coming off the back of Fatal's car. That's the first dirty air that Yoni's had to deal with pretty much since the start of the race, so that's why TJ's been able to catch up so quickly. And now it's TJ's opportunity. Can he follow Fatal through on the straight? Oh, it's a slightly tardy exit from the final corner, but he's in the slipstream. But Yoni's got a good exit. I don't know if TJ will be able to do it here. He's going to close up for sure by the time they get to the first corner. And then the only real next opportunity before Fatal disappears completely is out of the next corner. TJ's got to be brave here, otherwise it's going to be tough. Oh, he hits the wall on the outside, gets a bit of a slide on exit, and no, it's not going to be enough at all. Yoni is going to hold that place for at least another lap, I reckon.
Yeah, Yoni seems to be really running lower downforce than TJ, because as we get into any straight, there are basically two here. Every time Yoni just starts making a gap, no matter what TJ does, so he seems to have smaller resistance than TJ. So I think TJ will have it really difficult to make the pass. He either has to make it in this twisty section or just get really close, so Yoni cannot run away and make the pass via this slipstream into the braking zone.
Donny's had a spin, he's had a disaster, he's out. We just caught the end of it.
Yeah, he's just retired.
Yeah.
And here goes Onifus versus it is United, I believe. Yeah, now Onifus slots back into P10. Yeah, it is P10 as Unite makes the pass and goes into the 9th place. Still not the place where he wants to be, so I am sure he will get ahead a few places still, as we have 28 laps to go, so plenty of action ahead of us.
Yeah, it's all go, as it always is in Fox Friday. Moves going on everywhere. This car breeds overtaking, as we have a move on just ahead of Unite. It's going to be Rex versus Christian, and that move is definitely on. Rex is going to be making a move. Is he going to go to the outside? Yes, he is. This is the inside for the kink, the all-important kink. He's through already. Christian might have an opportunity back at him into turn number 1. But no, Rex had too much of an overspeed and is through cleanly. Needs a good exit though, otherwise the Fragmaster's driver is just going to come straight back at him. But no, he's also done that. He's got a good enough exit. I think that's that. Unite even is too far back as well. I don't think he'll be able to get close to Christian at this point. And Onifus, well, he's out of it. Gabor goes very wide there into the first part of the bus stop chicane. Is he struggling with his fronts, do we think? We will have to see. As we have a big old fight going on between Fin UK, Adal and RD2. RD2 at the back here. Adal in the white livery or swings across, but checks his mirrors at the very last moment, realises there are not one but two cars in his peripheral. As he goes now to the outside. Does he? Wow, he managed to get a gap there, Mike.
Yeah, this is a crazy situation, but they all seem to be aware of each other, as they almost made a contact, as Fin UK almost spawned but made it out, and now losing time as RB2 and Adal are going side by side into the turn 3 or 4, I'm not sure. RB2 seems to be ahead, making the space on the inside, makes a big slide but keeps it ahead and remains in P18 into this hairpin. Yeah, it's P19 for Adal, and Fin UK so far keeps his 20th place.
Yeah, brilliant move. 2 moves in 1 there, Michael, as Unite goes around the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great move by Unite. He seems to be doing well on the brakes, but let's see how the switchback goes, as now it's already side by side with Christian, who's on the inside on the back straight, and he should have the upper hand into the next turn. He already seems to have nose ahead of Unite. Unite doesn't try to stay around the outside and slots behind. This will be a waiting game for him.
It will. It's going to slow them both down, though. They are not teammates. They are going at it. They're running very... Oh, Christian messes it up. He's gone completely wrong. He's gone into the wall. He's given up a place as well to Onifus. And that was a shame, because that was a really, really nice fight that happened there. But he just got too much power through the rear wheels for the amount of downforce he had at the time. Through the hairpin. Too much. and he's gone off and into the wall by the looks of it. No, I think he's managed. That's from a previous incident, that damage. But either way, he is struggling. He's messed up a lot. Maybe Christian did hit something. I don't know. But anyway, he's not had a good lap at all. Was looking great, and it's gone pretty bad there. Almost a 5-second lead now at the front that Gabor has over Botzi. But the gap between now P3 man Fatal and Botzi is almost 4. Well, it's actually over 4 seconds now as I say that. So yeah, let's keep an eye on that gap. 4 seconds it is at the moment, but can Fatal start turning the screws on the top 2, the Sidus powerhouse at the front, as we lose another? Was that a Fragmaster driver we just lost? It was Christian. Christian's gone. He's had a bad lap, and his bad lap ends in a retirement, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that means that we are down to 21 cars out of, I believe, 27 or 28 were on the grid. So yeah, as we speak, Talnaberg went into the pit lane. My teammate from Master Race car, he seems to have some damage. Maybe he's changing tires because he's stationary for quite a long time. So far, still in P15. We will keep an eye on him where he ends up. As Gabor is leading Botzi now with 4.8 seconds gap and 9-second gap to Fatal, who doesn't seem to have a recipe how to catch the Sidus duo at the front.
No, you're absolutely right. In the middle sector, we lost about a 10.5 over the cars ahead. So yeah, not currently going well for him either. But he has a podium, and a podium is all you need, really, on your Friday afternoon. It's a good thing to take away another pot, and well, he's doing everything he needs to right now. But we are approaching the halfway stage at the end of this lap, and that means that tyre strategies and fuel strategies are all going to start to come into play. We're going to see more and more pit stops from this point, as drivers will have timed their stop for some point in probably the latter half of the race to try and balance the fuel. Balancing the fuel is an important strategy. It's not the only one. Some drivers will have filled the tank, some drivers will have put maybe half in or just over half, and then they'll top it up for the second stint of the race. Speaking of stops, let's see who has already made one. The highest placed driver with a pit stop under their belt is 16th place car RD2, as Gabor tags the inside of the Armco barrier into the bus stop there. Unusual.
Yeah, unusual it definitely is, but he's carrying on. He just doesn't care if he makes some small contacts with the walls. He keeps going, and he seems to be doing great. The gap to Botzi is now slightly smaller, 4.7 seconds, but I'm sure that doesn't bother him because that's a huge gap. And still it's as we are right at the halfway through the race, with Botzi in P2, Fatal in P3. Fourth is Sidus Monkey, aka Yenikatela, and TJ in 5th place. So far, none of the front guys made the pit stop, so we still have yet to see what their stop strategies are. But we are still waiting for some action, as we are watching Gabor going around some back marker, who's kind of giving him the place. The gap now to Botzi has slightly smaller, 4.6 seconds, but that's not really important at this point, as that's just a lot of time, and Gabor can offer some small mistakes without losing positions or his mind.
Yeah, that's Kirku87. He's having some sort of difficulty, unfortunately, with his car, letting the leader through. That's now 2 cars who are not on the lead lap. We've lost 5 or 6 cars from this race, which is pretty good going, actually, for South City. Not easy at all. If you fancy trying it, of course, you can. Fragmaster's Fox Friday runs every single Friday of the year, bar none, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there we go. I think it's pretty much most of the Fridays of the year. And so you can get involved by joining the grid, trying to do a lap in one-shot qualifying. And if you make the top 40, you can start this craziness, which is excitement guaranteed every single week. We're broadcasting the first race of every month towards the end of the year. And I'm very much enjoying tonight's action. It's Gabor leading his teammate Botsy by 4.5 seconds. Then we've got Fatal, who has snatched the fastest lap of the race. Boy, oh boy. He's got pace, but does he have enough? Not currently enough to catch Botsy on average. So, one fastest lap is not enough to win a race. You have to be fast every single lap. You have to be fastest every single lap. And, well, Fatal is not currently being as consistent as the two Sidus cars ahead of him, consistency being key. Yoni Katila, he's struggling a little bit, but not as much maybe as I thought he would be. Fatal caught him relatively quickly, but is not pulling away as quickly as maybe some would have imagined. Yoni 1.8 seconds now behind. Still being chased a little bit by TJ, but TJ, another car, electing for a slightly different strategy, which could explain the gap to the leaders. He's running R2's tyres on the front, as this graphic shows. So our top four running R1s, then we've got TJ and Roger Chen running R2s, Rex and Unite electing for R1s as well as Onifus, and then the top 10 rounded up by Regs, who's also on R2s on the front. So some different strategies which always cause some sort of interesting element in the second half of these races, Michael.
Yeah, as you said before, you need more than just one fast lap. You need 50 fastest laps to win this race. And so far, Gabor has the upper hand on the global pace. As we keep watching him, his advantage over bots is now 4.5 seconds. So it's slightly going downwards, but I think Gabor is managing his tires and fuel at this point and just keeps waiting for whatever happens. And is looking for the best opportunity to make the quick pit stop.
Yeah, while all that unfolds, Gabor having lost his fastest lap to Fatal, Chris has been through the replay and he's found out why Donny left the race. We just caught Donny leaving the race. He spectated at the just before the downhill chicane. We've got Twin Cam in the pits. Let's see if we can get that on the camera. There you go. He's just leaving, actually. He does a stop. Where does he rejoin? He's done fuel only, so no damage, no tyres, no nothing. And he rejoins just ahead of the Strutter Pablo battle. That's going on pretty quickly. What on earth has happened to Twin Cam there?
Definitely some luck, or did he just...
I mean, he's spectated from the race, but that is a very dramatic way to end the race while being on camera. He's yeeted it into a barrier. Yeah,
that was the weirdest I'm out of here.
Yeah. I don't like it when drivers do that, to be honest. Not particularly impressed by that exit from the race. And unfortunate there from Twin Cam because he was doing quite well. Anyway, let me finish my thought. The reason Donny spectated, in essence, is that he got into an argument with Christian and Onifus and was eventually collected by Christian, and that's why he retired. Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
I was just trying to say that as long as Twin Cam doesn't hurt anyone else in the race, I think it's up to him, but it's not a very professional way to retire from the race. You are definitely right on that.
Yeah, exactly. I like some semblance of reality in these races, and it's nice to take it to the pit lane and put it in a pit garage. That's what they're for. Anyway, Twin Cam retires, and that leaves us with just 20 cars, which is still plenty enough for some excitement towards the end of this race. We're approaching lap number 30. We're watching Strutter, who was in a fight with Pablo just a moment ago as we switched them, but that gap has now opened up somewhat, and we wait. This is the patient part of the race. We wait to see when our leaders are going to go into the pits. How much fuel did each of them go for? As we see on cue, actually, who was that who was fading to the pit lane? Was it a back marker? I think it was Adal. He faded towards the pits. I thought it was Botsy who was going to be the first to blink, but it didn't happen. Adal faded, but then did not go into the pit lane. Who will be the first to blink? That's the question, Michael.
Definitely. Speaking of question speed, we have 20 cars on the track, 20 laps to go. How many cars do you think will finish the race?
I never like predicting that stat, so I don't know if I should answer you. I hope all 20.
I'm going for 16.
All right, yeah, fair enough. You put your neck out there. So yeah, 16. Fair enough. 20. I hope 20 finish. I don't know whether they will, as we have our leader Gabor, who took back the fastest lap on that attempt, getting past another back marker. Who was that? Was that Mad Jester? Yes, it was.
I think it was. Yeah.
Botsy is coming up to lap Adal. Let's see how this goes. This is, yeah, I guess this is also the stage of the race where some more incidents can happen as more and more back markers start to come in front of the leaders. But Adal gets well out of the way before the bus stop. No issues. Botsy through. Michael just clearing his nose there. As we continue to watch Fatal sweeping round the penultimate corner and on to start his 30th or 30. Yeah, is he 30th? 31st laps. Gabor comes across start finish. We're into the final third of the race almost, and Joni Katila now has to come past Finn UK across start finish to lap him, as Gabor puts yet another fastest lap on the board, improves on his own time in this race, which means the fuel is well and truly draining out of that car if he's able to be putting in such good laps. Mad Jester's been through the pit lane and has unfortunately picked up a drive-through penalty, so his race goes from bad to worse, I guess, down in P18. Yeah, he'll have to do another trip through the pit lane, which could put him in the sights of Kirkhoop, who is in P19 at the moment, but some 44 seconds back. So maybe, in fact, that gap is going to come down over start finish. There we go, 30 seconds. I don't think Mad Jester will lose 30 seconds in the pit lane for a drive-through, but the gap will certainly come down, so that will help Kirkhoop's cause.
Yeah, Manchester has definitely a lot of time in between them, so he's definitely not losing the place. Apologies for the unintended noises before.
All good.
We are now watching Tallenberg, my teammate in P15, just staying ahead of Adal, or is it? No, it's not Adal, it's actually should be Gabor trying to lap him, is it? And he should make the way in any moment. There he goes. Gabor goes around, and then that leaves only 13 cars in the lead lap so far.
Yeah, and an interesting development. You may have noticed it on the timing tower, but Joni Katila has left the race. Chris is going to check the replay because Joni said wall in the chat. So probably he made an error, and has left the race. That's a big shame. Could potentially have developed into a podium for Joni if his pit stop went well. But he's had an incident, and that's meant he's had to leave the race. That promotes TJ back up to P number 3, and Roger Chen there in P4. But yes, we will have to wait and see. Fatal has been in the pit lane, rejoins in P5. And so that's a brilliant pit stop. I don't think he's come out in any traffic. And therefore he can push home, but he's pitted very early in comparison to some of the leaders. I think that stop happened just now, or maybe the lap before, which means he's now going to be heavy on fuel, Michael, and will be losing time to our top 3.
Yeah, you're right. He was refueling for 3 seconds. I assume he didn't change his tires, so he should be running with the same old R1 tires. So let's see if they stay together until the rest of the race. So far he's doing great, just a little extra weight from the fuel he added. Yeah, it's upset for Joni that he had to retire. Wonder what happened there, but this promotes everyone one place up, and now we have TJ on the last podium step.
Yeah, he's always there or thereabouts, isn't he? And that leaves no doubt. So Strutter coming out of the pit lane, he's going to rejoin in P17. Mad Jester. No, sorry, who's that? Is that his teammate Finn UK? No, it's not his teammate Finn UK. That was Fatal going through to put another lap on him. So yeah, Strutter stops for his one and only pit stop. And now Fatal has a 4.5 second gap to Roger Chen, Now, Roger Chen has not yet stopped and will therefore almost certainly lose a place to Fatal when he comes in. But the important thing is to watch TJ now. When will TJ come in? Because the gap between Fatal and TJ was not big, really, relatively. So how many laps does TJ need to try and close that gap? Michael, speculating again here with my speculative hat on, do you think that TJ went high on fuel and he's running R2s so they last a bit longer, and therefore he can go quite late before he stops?
My guess is that he is, and we will see. But I assume that he exactly is using harder tires to compensate for a higher fuel load in the first half of the race. I think he will be one of the very last guys to stop, but we will see how our prediction goes. So far, he's doing a fantastic job in P3.
Yeah, drivers who elect to take high fuel at the beginning, they do run the risk of not being able to, pick up too many places later on in the race. A long stop there for Pablo. I reckon there was some damage repair for sure going on there. That was a long stop, so Pablo had not a great stop there as one of the Fragmaster driver goes through. That was Strutter. 33-second stop for Pablo, less than ideal. Normally you only need fuel. But if the damage is that bad that you think you're going to lose another 20 seconds in the race because of it, then you should repair damage. But did he have enough to justify that? I don't know.
Yeah, the mesh repairs are really costly in the pit lane, and you really need big damage to make the sense of making the repair, because at this point we are about 16 or 17 laps to go, so only if you are losing like more than 1 second per lap, it's worth to repair the car. Otherwise, I would just keep going.
Yeah, news just in on the Yoni Catilla situation. Chris has checked the replay, and Yoni did hit a wall. He hit an apex. Chris said the damage wasn't too bad, but Yoni clearly thought that it was and retired. I reckon he could have made it round to the pits, Michael, to repair, but elected not to. Didn't really want to give up the time. But Botsy there slams in the fastest lap. Unusual, but the top two pushing so hard, super lap times. The fuel coming out the car, but the gap between Gabor and Botsy is 6 seconds. So I really wonder what the fuel load is between those two. If Gabor pits first, then we've got a show on our hands, because Botsy will have more fuel, and that justifies his slower pace at this point. You can just see him in the background there. We're going to have an exciting end to this race. I can feel it.
You are absolutely right. At this point, the gap is 6 seconds, and I think it will grow much higher before either of them stops. I think Gabor will be the first one to hit the pit line, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah, bold prediction. I know that Gabor likes to go long in races. It's all about track position for him. But of course, you can't get track position if your car's heavy on fuel. So maybe that's the point. Botsy's quick, but is 6 seconds really? I don't know. Let's have a look. Mad Jester has left the race. Unfortunately, that's down to 18 now, Michael, so 2 off your prediction with only 15 laps to go as Gabor starts lap number 36. 15 laps to go for our race leader. When's he going to come in the pits? That's the question everybody's going to be asking. Botsy also goes past pit lane. TJ also goes past pit lane. Roger Chen likewise, and there is Fatal in the background. The man who could change everything, now only 2.5 seconds off the back of Roger Chen, Michael.
Yeah, he's keeping a good distance. We will see how it goes in the pits. If one of them decides to change the tires and the other one doesn't, it will swing a lot. It will make the position or increase the gap massively. I think it's 6 seconds to switch all 4 tires, so it's all in play in the last 15 laps for these two.
Here is TJ driving that Oracle Red Bull Racing livery, and yeah, 9.82 seconds off of Botsy. That means he's 16 seconds off the back of our race leader. That is a lot of time. There's going to have to be something amazing is going to have to happen for TJ to beat Gabor in this race, and I am here for it. I want to see what TJ's got planned. TJ has so much caliber in these races that he's got to have something up his sleeve, as an unusual thing has happened. Michael, against your prediction, Botsy does not have the pace in this race. He's in the pits to fuel. Gabor is lightning. He's got more fuel than Botsy. Botsy's in. TJ goes past. TJ's also got more fuel. We thought that, but Botsy's in. But Botsy has lacked pace then in this race over his teammate. And that is unbelievable. I cannot believe that Botsy has come in before Gabor, but there we go. Fair play. So yeah, Botsy's just going to have to hope he can climb onto that podium and that no one else behind turns it around. I think Fatal has not had the pace that he thought he would have. He is 1.7 seconds behind Roger Chen and a further couple of seconds behind Botsy. So it's race on, but podium at best, third place at best, I reckon, for Fatal in this case.
Yeah, I got my prediction wrong, but there we go. Let's see what will be the Botsy's pace compared to Gabor. At this point, they have 24.4 seconds gap in between them, so I will keep an eye on that. This promotes TJ into the provisional second place, but he has yet to stop, and I'm sure he will be on the refueling as well. So let's keep an eye on him as well, and let's not forget FM Fatal in P5, who definitely wants to gain some position as well, and I believe he still has to stop as well. So now it will be a waiting game on who else will hit the pit line and make the necessary short pit work. And as we keep going, Gabor has apparently made another fastest lap, and now the gap to TJ is 16 and almost like a quarter of the second. So yeah, TJ has too little pace compared to Gabor tonight, but I believe these two were fighting quite hard not so long ago in the, I believe it was endurance on the same track, and I wonder where that pace of TJ has gone, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. But here we go. Let's watch what happens with this. There is a Fragmaster's car who could choose to tactically be not as gentlemanly, if they so wished. And well, that wasn't as easy as it possibly could have been. But there we go. Gabor is through. Will he pit? Will he pit? Will he pit? Will he pit? No, he won't. He's going for another one. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he just keeps going, and it's safe to assume that TJ will keep going as well. I wonder where TJ should be around the pit lane entry at this moment, but I don't see him. So I can only speculate, as we watch Gabor now starting lap 39 out of 50, so it's 12 laps to go, and he has almost 17 seconds gap over TJ. So it's safe to assume that TJ didn't pit. Yeah, there he goes. He's just about to start the lap now, so the gap is now significant. Now Botsy is the highest placed driver who has stopped, as we watch Roger Chen being chased closely by a Fatal. Let's see if he tries something into the braking zone, into the first turn. He goes around the outside. We don't see what's happening. Tries to get around the outside still, side by side, and has overspeed, so now he gets ahead and slots into fourth place. But that immediately gives the possible draft to Roger Chen, who tries to go around the outside into the next turn, but decides to stay back. So I assume he feels it's faster for him not to fight back. So yeah, there you go. Fatalist P4 and Roger Chen slots in P5. And as we see, Onifus battling with Unite for P6, P7. They're going side by side with Unite on the inside, and Onifus backs off, and I think he's slowed a bit his teammate. Wonder who that is. Probably somewhere lap down, maybe. Yeah. It should be Stratler battling with Pablo. for P13. Yeah.
Yeah, Unite making a good move there and taking back P6. Well, actually, he was ahead. He was ahead originally. They had a bit of a scrap with some back markers, which made Onifus come close to him. But he's got that place back, and it is TJ who's coming to the pit lane. He's on his way out now, and Botsy is swept past and has retaken P2, and so too has Fatal and Roger Chen. So yeah, TJ down to P5. That strategy, the R2s on the front, we can conclude has not worked. There's not enough laps left. He can't make any more gains. TJ has not made the best strategy call today. Unite also in the pit lane, so straight after that battle with Onifus decides to go into the pit lane, wandering down there now. Where is he going to come out? He's in P7. Now gets overtaken by Riggs. Riggs is yet to stop as well, actually. Rex through as well. Has Rex stopped? Rex has stopped, so wow. Unite comes out behind Rex. Fair play to Rex there. Good strategy from him. Manages to get ahead of Unite. I think Rex, I don't know how long ago Rex pitted, but not too long ago, I guess. Gabor in, finally. Michael.
Yeah, Gabor is finally making the pit stop. Let's see how long he's stationary. That was very short, so he just did some quick refuel with 2.2 seconds stop, so no tire change. It's safe to assume that everyone thinks that R1 tires are good enough to last the race, as we have just 10 laps to go. Gabor now leaves the pit lane with some back marker. I think it's Stollenberg making the way around, and he's safely ahead. Now only Roger Chen, Onifus and Rakes are the last cars that have yet to stop, so I expect them to stop anytime soon, because we are in the zone where the full fuel tank at the beginning should be empty about now, so let's keep an eye on them.
Yeah, well, Gabor's thrown down the gauntlet. I don't imagine we're going to get many cars driving many more laps unless they've saved a ridiculous amount. Roger thinks he can do another lap. So too does Onifus and Riggs. But yeah, let's see when they come in. They have to come in this lap or next, surely, if I've done my mental maths correctly. So we will see. Let's have a look. Roger Chen loves a long stint, apparently. And I don't think he wants to give it up. He's only just ahead of TJ, but I don't think he wants to give up P4. He has to eventually. The fuel tank will run itself dry, and he'll have to come into the pit lane. But let's see if it is on this lap or another. If he comes into the pit lane, expect to see Onifus and Riggs in as well, and then that everybody is stopped and we're on for a fight to the end. There we go. Lap 41 is the lap in which Roger decides to come into the pits.
Let's see how it goes for him. He has to brake early to avoid speeding penalty. Slots in the very first place, and he's going. That was about 2 seconds stationary, so again only fuel goes in and he's back on the track, currently in P5. Yeah, we watch Onifus trying to get around, but I think he's too far to catch him.
Well, he hasn't pitted either. He hasn't pitted. So
you're right.
Interestingly, yeah, Riggs didn't pit either. No, he did. Riggs is in. So Onifus is the longest. He's going the longest of anybody. But for what reason? We will find out, I guess. I don't know if Onifus will lose a place to Rex, but he could. The gap is only 14 seconds. Yeah, I think Onifus will lose a place to Rex. We'll see. But Onifus has to pit now. He cannot do another lap. It's impossible. We will see. He's right there behind Roger Chen, but he will say bye-bye to him at the end of this lap. And he'll be fighting for places lower down. But yes, after 41 laps of racing, now 42, it's Gabor leading Botsy by a stunning 10 seconds ahead of Fatal. The gap between Fatal and Botsy could come to the fore before the end. We do have laps left on the board, of course. TJ, who elected for R2s at the beginning, Has he swapped, actually? No strategy change for him. He's still on R2s at the front, and that's why he's 18 seconds off the lead. Roger Chen, he is the car just ahead of Onifus now. We expect Onifus to pit now. No, he knows more than we do. He's stayed out again. He will register at least 43 laps if he hasn't dismissed the reading on his fuel tank before he comes into the pit lane. Tallenberg's changed front tyres, so Tallenberg elected for a strategy change. However, he's in the realms of insignificance down in P12, really, a lap down. So we will have to see what happened there. But yeah, Gabor has more backmarker traffic. I think that is... who is that he's coming up to the back of? Is it RD2? It will be RD2.
Yeah, as you say, it's RD2 and P11 about to be lapped by Gabor. And we see Onifus and Rogichen fighting hard. Rogichen is making some major mistakes in the wake behind the Onifus. The gap is now too big and we are in the twisty section, so it's fair to say we don't expect to switch them places at this point. I wonder if Onifus will pit this lap. I didn't do the math, so I don't know how many laps are theoretically possible with one full tank of fuel. But Onifus should be stopping any moment now. I believe it could be this lap, but let's see how it goes for him.
I hope for him it's this lap.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuel consumption around this track with this car, but
Nope.
he stays out. So apparently he's doing some sort of a challenge thing. So.
Yeah. It has to be the end of this lap. Like, it has to be. I won't say what I will do if he doesn't come in, but I'll do a thing if he doesn't come into the pit lane. 110% fuel would point to lap 45 as the potential last time to come in, or lap 44, I guess. So let's see. Gabor is still pushing like crazy. Over the last few laps, he's done more and more fastest laps, which are, tenths off the world record. He's pushing so hard per lap times. He's just using every single inch of the track and pushing so fast. He's just done a fastest split 2 of anybody, including himself, of the race. And Onifus still has fastest split 1, but Gabor is absolutely flying. Let's see what he manages to do on this lap. Well, there we go, cross start finish. We will be able to see what that was in just a moment's time. I don't think it was an improvement, but anyway, he doesn't need it at this point. He's got so much of a lead over Botsi. It's not even fair. It was an improvement. It was a 32 flat. So 0.03 of a second better on his previous. So yeah, getting closer to the world record time. Unbelievable. But yeah, as the tyres get thinner in LFS and thinner and older, they get faster as the fuel comes off. Slightly unrealistic, but it is a trait of LFS's tyre model, which is perfect in any other way, every other way, pretty much. It's the way most of us see it. There are a few quirks, but it's still very, very good. Yeah, Onifus, where is he? Has he come into the pit lane? No, he hasn't. So lap 45. Unless he has saved fuel, there is absolutely no way that he will not. He will go on to lap 46. Absolutely no chance. 45.4 laps is probably the theoretical maximum you can do without lifting and coasting. If 110% fuel is the prediction for the race distance on fuel. Yeah. Anyway, he's doing something unbelievable there, so fair play to him. He started the race on 100% fuel, which not the recommended thing, Michael.
Yeah, but so far he seems to be going quite well. I'm wondering if he knows something we doesn't know. Maybe he's running very low downforce, so he doesn't have to spend fuel battling with the resistance. But yeah, this is the point where he should be really going into the pit lane, because I don't think he should have fuel for any more laps. There he goes, finally. He's the last car to to make the mandatory pit stop. No pit wall required, but he definitely needs some refueling, so we will keep an eye on how long it will take for him. He's in the slow zone, slots into the box, and he's going 1.7 seconds stationary, so that was a very quick refuel, and he's now going at the pit lane speed limit.
Yeah, but look at Rex. Look at Rex and look at Unite.
Yeah.
They're both going to get past.
Yeah,
so Onifus there.
going ahead.
You know, he's lost 2 places by doing that. I don't know. Actually, has he gained time on Rags? Yeah, only just. But P8, unfortunately, for Onifus there. Unfortunately, that strategy of just going longer didn't pay off in the end over Unite and Rex, who, as they streak past, I realised are actually quite close. I don't know. Can Unite gain a last-minute position here? The gap says that it's possible, so let's keep an eye on it. They are the closest pair on track for position as far as I can work out. But yeah, we will keep an eye on this. Unite for Sidus versus Rex for Good Drivers, the Good Drivers team. Always quick in the Fox, these two, but let's see. This could be our entertainment, Michael, for the last 3 laps and see how it goes.
Yeah, you're right. Onifus was flexing with his fuel strategy, but it wasn't worth any positions on the track, unfortunately. As we keep watching Unite in P7 following Good Drivers Rex, who's in P6, and they are both just going flat out. There's so far quite a gap in between them, so Unite is too far to make the advantage of the slipstream. So unless there's some major problem for Rex, I didn't expect them to make the pass before they reach turn 1. We will see how well they will get on the brakes into turn 1. We are now watching Unite's view next to his helmet. He's getting slightly closer, but we are now watching his beautiful face. But we are not seeing how well he brakes. He actually brakes perfectly. He gained some time and now should be possibly close enough to make the pass, but he isn't, as we switch to Alpazin and RD2 battling for P10, P11. RD2 tries to go around the outside, but he's blocked by Alpazin, but he's close enough to remain in the slipstream and definitely possible to make the pass on the main straight. Let's see how it goes. He will probably go around the outside as he goes. Side by side has a lot of overspeed and is already ahead of Alpazin as we are going into the hard braking zone into turn 1. So around the outside, and they are still side by side. Alpazin now on the inside, RD2 around the outside. So side by side, let's see who will be more braver into the next turn. Usually the guy in the inside should have the upper hand, but I think RD2 will not give up that easily. As they are going still side by side now, it's upper hand for RD2. And yeah, there's light contact with the wall for Alpazin. Both make a small correction contact with their wheels, but keep going still side by side, Alpazin on the inside. I'm losing my breath as they just don't give up, but it seems to be
fantastic stuff.
Yeah, Alpazin finally slots ahead. There you go, Pete.
Yeah, just unbelievable. Al somehow managing to keep his nose in the fight, and well, he hadn't had any screen time for a while as he taps the apex, has to immediately go defensive on RD2. He hadn't had any screen time for a while and then provides us with an absolutely epic battle. Speaking of that apex, that's the apex that got Yoni Katilla earlier and ended his race. As RD2 now has the slipstream again as we go on to lap 48 of 50 in the 28th round of the 2023 season of Fragmaster's Fox Friday. What an epic race it's been so far. Across start finish, RD2 pokes his nose ahead around the outside. Al, he's going to have to slide into the slipstream and go for a big dive into turn number 1. Gabor has just matched the world record in a race, which is unbelievable. Al sends up the inside. RD2 does the switchback. Beautiful driving from both of these guys. They're going to have to go past the back marker at the same time. That's Kirku87 that they swing past there. And, well, ridiculous stuff. RD2 in the lead temporarily. Well, where will Alpazin go? This is roles reversed from the previous lap. He's still there, but will he be able to hold it? He's going to try everything. Swings the car into the inside, but it's not enough. RD2 has more grip aerodynamic or otherwise, into the hairpin and takes the position away. That is a shame for Alpecin. He loses a top 10 position temporarily there. Let's see if he can get it back in the last 2 laps. But yeah, RD2 through. Congrats to him, a top 10 so far. So yeah, Gabor matching the world record with just 2 laps to go. Can he beat it? Of course, the world record will not stand. It has to be set in a hot lap session. And Onifus has gone into the pit lane. Oh, he's had a puncture. So yeah, tyres, the R1s are also obviously limited by the amount of compound that is left on them. And Onifus has gone for a second trip down the pit lane, Michael, and has lost the place to Rags because... Oh, Gabor's got a flat. Let's see. He's gone past pit lane, so he has to do a lap with a flat tyre. Yeah, he's messed up there. Let's see how this lap goes. Yeah, he's having a big trouble through turn 1. This could be it. Botsy. What's Botsy doing? Botsy's having a fight with Fatal. Not with Fatal, with a back marker. But Botsy is potentially on for a win here if Gabor has some sort of issue up the back straight. Michael, it's all happened. We're on the final lap.
Yeah, this is crazy ending. Gabor on the final lap is losing time as we speak. He's having a hard time in every turn. His which tire is flat? I'm not sure. Is it
left front?
Yeah, the left front tire. So he's definitely having problems in all right turns. He's still in front, but the gap has now lowered down to 8.5 seconds. On the previous pit should be around 6 seconds now. Goes wide into this right-hander. Seriously, but I still don't see Botsy. We are only how many? 5 turns away.
Botsy's also in danger of a puncture. He's pushing so hard here, but it's not going to be enough. I think Gabor's just done enough. He's coming up to the penultimate corner. Ridiculous scenes here. Trespasser in the chat saying if he crosses start-finish line in the lead, it's Hamilton-esque. But very, very wide at the final corner. It's painful through the final corner. Botsy's also just here, but Botsy, he's not done enough. Gabor has done enough. Michael, take him across the line. Ridiculous scenes there.
Yeah. Gabor on just 3 fine wheels, just a few seconds ahead of Botsy, who's catching like crazy. But it's Gabor on the finish line with Botsy in P2. It was over 10 seconds gap before we got into this lap, but they are only 2 seconds apart of each other as we watch Fatal crossing the line in P3, and TJ, after a great drive, finishes P4, crosses the line right now, and is 16 seconds away from the race winner Gabor, who matched the world record and finished the race with 1 tire flat. That was absolutely brilliant drive. And top 5 is closed by Roger Chen, who is yet to cross the finish line. He is going onto the final straight and crosses the line just about now. And it's battle for P6 as Rex and Unite are battling for it, but Unite is too far and now just gives up and makes something for the viewers. Yeah, so it's Rex in 6, Unite in 7, and Rex, unless something terrible happens for him, is about to finish EP in P8. Let's see how it goes for him. Just one quick right-hand turn. And he finishes 8th. It was a brilliant race for him as well, I believe. And well deserved 8th place.
Yeah, Onifus had 2 trips down the pit lane. Well, he decided to go into the pit lane and repair his tyre. He probably would have lost the position to Rags anyway, so he didn't lose much by going into the pit lane. The final car across the line will be Strutter. Here he comes to take, what will that be? That will be P16 in the end, with a 45-second penalty. He must have had a puncture somewhere around the lap. So anyway, there we are. That is all she wrote for round 28. Gabor, well, he pushed it to the limit, matched the world record time, got a puncture on the final lap, well, just before the final lap actually, and still managed to win with a 2-second gap over his teammate. Ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, that was fantastic ending to this race. I don't think we could see anything more intense than this.
No, definitely not. 2 seconds the gap. But it is a win for Sidus Gabor, followed by Botsy. Then Fragmaster's Fatal finishes P3. Rhoda praises TJ after starting a bold strategy on the R2s, finishes 15 seconds back in P4. Just off the podium for him. He'll be a bit gutted, I think, to not score a podium here. Roger Chen in P number 5, followed by Rex. Then it's Sidus Unite, Rags, and Onifus, who also got a puncture in the dying laps. RD2 then finishes out our top 10. Al Payson, the man who, obviously involved very heavily in pretty much every single race of Fox Friday since its inception, also was the one who contacted us about the broadcast too, so we're very thankful to him. He finishes in P11. Then it's Tallenberg in P12, Pablo Adal, Finn UK, Strutter, Kirku87, Turbo Blaster, Mad Jester, and Ionica rounding out the top 20. However, the drivers up to P18 are the ones that finished, and everyone after that is a DNF. So Ionica exited fairly early. So did Twincam, Christian, Donny, HU Oliver, João Fernando, Yasin Jr. and Rocket. Rocket actually finishing P28, but DNF'd on the first lap. We're going to have a few words with Al Payson, finishing P11. How did it go, Al? It was entertaining from our perspective, especially that final lap, Pliminek.
Yeah, I just heard from Santi. He said, "Let's go, Al."
Yeah, brilliant stuff.
Santi was watching my broadcast.
Good stuff. I mean, I can hear myself in the background of your microphone saying Al Payson. So, Al Payson, you're with us. Tell us about your race.
Yes, I am. Sorry. To turn off the broadcast.
Yeah, that must be confusing. It's like listening to the radio through the radio.
All right, I'm back.
Well, I don't know if you heard my question twice, but I'll say it a third time to you. How was your race? Tell us about it. How's it going?
Oh, my race was hectic. At least I gained a spot. I don't know. It's I had a tough last few laps. Trying to hold off RD2, couldn't do it. It's he's right behind me in the points though, so I really wanted to keep him behind me, damn it. But oh well.
Yeah, Michael and I noticed, at least in the early stages, that you were absolutely being harassed by so many people. But you get good TV time. That's for sure. So you're definitely getting your money's worth for your sponsors there. And yeah, it was great stuff. Some really awesome fights. Especially, I know that Michael wants to talk about this, but I'll mention it first and let Michael ask the questions. The battle with RD2 at the end there. Michael, take it away.
Yeah, I just didn't have it for him. I saw him many laps before, and I knew he was gaining like a second a lap, and I was trying to push. I just couldn't keep it up.
Great effort. Great effort. I have one unrelated question. We saw quite a lot of punctures in the very last laps. How was your tire strategy? Were you confident that you can finish on the same sets?
I'm having a tough time hearing you, but I think you're asking about tire strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah, my strategy usually is to pit halfway through and change tires if I need to, but I didn't need to, so I'd actually run this track many times, so I knew that I was gonna not need tires. So
yeah, apparently quite many guys thought that they don't need to, but they went flat on the last lap. So do you think you were lucky, or are you confident that you just know what you are doing?
I think I was pretty confident that it wasn't going to pop. It had plenty of meat on there at the end.
Yeah, I've just heard you used R2s, so yeah.
Yeah, R2 tires are going to last a little bit better. Yeah, Al, we're round 28 in the season. You did say that it was annoying that you lost a couple of places in the drivers' championship standings with what's going on, but it's been good so far. You've had a good turnout this year. Any messages for the viewers? We need to get them along. We need to get them on the grid.
Yes, we do. We need to get some more people out. We're the oldest series in LFS, and we deserve to be seen. So come on out and check it out.
Yeah, so to do that, it's Friday afternoons, Friday evenings. Come along, try and set a time in one-shot qualifying. If you make the top 40, you can start the race. It is fairly difficult to do, but there's a spot for you in qualifying. Try your luck, and you'll be joining us on the broadcast, hopefully, if you make the top 40. So yeah, come along and have a go. It's always a good time in Fox Friday, as you will have seen tonight. Sidus Gabor wins ahead of Botsy, and Fatal rounds out the podium. TJ, it wasn't his day today. Al P4, 16 seconds off. He ran R2s at the front. One of the only drivers in the top 5 at the start did it. So thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box, Al. We'll chat to you next time, hopefully. Thanks for having us along for the broadcast.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. You guys do a great job as usual, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
See ya.
Michael, any thoughts then to wrap this one up?
I think this race wrapped up itself. That last lap was just out of this world, and I think nothing gets as close as this finish. And I could watch this any day. So yeah, this was a wonderful race.
Yeah, super stuff. Thanks as always to the Fragmasters team for having us along. We couldn't do without them. Thanks to the drivers, of course, and congrats to Gabor for today's effort, of course. Brilliant stuff. And thanks to you, our viewers. We couldn't do it without you, and we hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you join us for the next one. The next one is going to be in 1 month's time. We don't know the track yet. That will be decided the week before, but it'll be on Friday, the 11th of August at 19:30 UTC. We hope you can join us for it. We would love to see you there. From all of us here at Sim Broadcasts, Chris in the background, Michael, Málek, and myself, Peter Butcher, we are Sim Broadcasts, and we hope you had a good evening. We hope you have a good weekend, and we'll see you at the next one. From all of us here to all of you, have a good night. Goodbye.
Good night.